Maggie, and well, good evening, Sumter School District boys and girls, and welcome to a special edition of Reading with the Superintendent. As you know, we always have a special guest joining us, and tonight we are very fortunate to have another, Nurse White. Well, hi, Nurse White. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Happy to be with you, Dr. Knox.
I'm excited to be with you. So why don't you tell our viewers just a little bit about you, what you do, and yourself?
Okay. My name is Joan White. I'm the proud nurse over at Kingsbury Elementary. Hello, Knights. And I am married. My husband's name is Roland, but we call him Rocky. I have 3 boys, 3 daughter-in-laws, 2 grandchildren, and I'm just so happy to be with you today.
Well, I'm excited to have you join us, and there's somebody in the back.
Oh, yes. Let me introduce my friend and co-worker, Tiffany Davis.
Well, Davis, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Why are you way back there?
We have to do social distancing.
What does social distancing mean?
We're staying 6 foot apart to help keep from spreading those germs.
Oh, okay. So I can socially distance and it stops it, or do I have
just helps keep it from spreading so that we don't get sick.
Okay. So that's all we have to do? Is there anything else?
No, that's not all we have to do. We have to social distance, wear our mask.
Do I have to wear a mask because I'm by myself?
Not when you're by yourself, but when you're in public around other people, and if you're not 6 feet apart, you definitely want your mask on.
Okay. All right. I see that. So we're going to read this evening, and hopefully we can integrate some of those precautions in there, because I need to make sure that we are staying safe during these times.
That's exactly right. We want to stay safe.
So what book are we reading tonight?
The book we're reading tonight is Why We Stay Home. Susie learns about the coronavirus.
Okay. So I think it's important that we learn about the coronavirus. And you see that little green thing with the mean face? That's coronavirus. If we could see them, that's what it looks like, right?
That's right.
Okay. So what I usually do before we read, I just need to make sure I have everybody's attention. Not just because I want their attention, but I need them to absorb everything we're talking about so we can safeguard them. So when we see them again, they'll be nice and strong and healthy and ready to learn. So I'm going to do a call and response. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. And then if you and our viewers will respond by saying 1, 2, eyes on you. You ready to try that?
I'm ready.
Okay. So before we read, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me.
1, 2, all eyes on you.
Let's go ahead and begin to read Why We Stay Home by Samantha Harris and Devin Scott. They're cute little kids on the front of this cover.
They sure are.
So, Millie, are you awake? Susie asked. Susie was having a hard time sleeping, so she figured she would see if her older sister was still awake. You know, I have a hard time with that. But then there was a response. I am now, Millie responded. What do you want, Susie? So I have a hard time with going to bed at night sometimes. Why is it important for us to go to bed and sleep, Nurse White?
Because we need sleep to help our bodies to recuperate. So when we wake up, we will be ready to learn and to go about our daily activities.
Okay.
I was just thinking how happy I am that me, you, Mommy, and Daddy have been staying home together. It's fun, Susie replied. Yes, it is nice having Mom and Daddy home with us, Susie, Millie responded. But we have to make sure that we remember the reason that we are all home right now.
I think it's important. I'm glad they're enjoying one another, but let's see some of the things that they discuss. So, yes, I know, Millie, because of coronavirus. But what is coronavirus anyway? Asked Susie.
Very good question.
Are you?
Coronavirus is a virus. A virus is a really small germ that you cannot see. There are other kinds of germs too, like bacteria and fungi. See what they look like?
I see.
That's the only way we'll see them under a microscope. Germs are everywhere. They are on our bodies, especially our hands, chairs we sit on, and even the door handles or your favorite ice cream parlor. I love ice cream. Yeah.
I do too. What's your favorite ice cream?
Well, I like to try all of them, but I normally stick to the butter pecans or a pralines and cream type ice cream.
My grandmother used to love butter pecan, but I love banana splits.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Some germs are good, some are bad, and some don't really do anything. The coronavirus, though, is a bad germ, and it can make some people really sick. Some of the people at greatest risk of getting sick are Grandpa and Grandma and Mr. Jones, our neighbor, whose body has a hard time fighting off germs. So everyone has been staying home to make sure we don't spread coronavirus to them. This is what quarantine means. So when they've been home, and we've all been home, we've been quarantined.
Yes, not being able to get out very much, except maybe to go to the doctor or the grocery store.
Extremely important things.
Some signs that someone is sick with coronavirus are cough, fever, and sore throat. We can do our part by preventing the spread of the coronavirus by washing our hands, wearing a mask when we go to the grocery store, and standing 6 feet apart. Make sure you do that in the grocery store while we're waiting in line. This is called social distancing.
Look at that. Washing hands, wearing a mask, and staying 6 feet apart. So it's not one or the other, it's all of them together, right?
Exactly. Very important things to do.
Okay. Oh, I see, said Susie. But Millie, since we've been at home, I've really missed my friend Alex from school. I understand, Susie. It can be very hard not to see friends and family that don't live with us. But there are still ways that we can say hello to them. We can video chat with them on Mommy's computer. We can call them on the phone. And we can also send them messages to check on them.
I love doing the phone Skype.
You like Skype?
I like Skype.
I usually use Duo. That's one of the venues I use. I use Duo, and I use FaceTime.
Okay.
I like FaceTime.
You like
You
FaceTime?
I like FaceTime.
Some people do not have mommies and daddies or even sisters with them, and they are alone in quarantine. So it is important that we check on them. I understand, Millie. But Millie, Susie replies, is this how it's going to be from now on?
Wow. That's a great, great question, because being in quarantine can be lonely. And for some people, it can be really scary. Let's see what happens. No, Susie, it will get better. We just have to keep sticking together. I like that they're sticking together and hugging.
Yes, I have a baby sister. She's not such a baby now, but I really appreciate her, and we are always there for each other. It's great to have someone that you can count on and talk to, especially during this time.
Absolutely. I would agree. I would agree. Okay, we can flip the page. What, you know what? They're sticking together, and is that the end?
I think there's one more page.
I don't know. Where's our page turner?
Oh, I think that is the last page. I thought there was 10 pages, but evidently it's 9. So that's a good way to end.
It
Two
is.
sisters helping each other out so that they're coping with the things that they're going through. Because coping sometimes can be hard. We need others to help us learn how to cope.
And I think that was a nice visual because before the coronavirus, we used to be able to hug. And we have to be very careful because now we have to stay 6 feet apart. We have to wear a mask and we have to wash our hands. And so hugging and shaking hands and high-fiving is not recommended during these times. And so I just need to make sure that our viewers recognize some of the things that we used to do. It may be a very long time if we ever get to go back to some of the things that we used to do.
Yeah, this is true, but we are in it together and we can make through together.
We are. Now, one of the things about that picture on the last page is that they're two sisters that are hugging each other for support. If you live in the house together, you can hug your family members, right? We can do that, right?
That's right. As long as they're not sick and they don't have the COVID, then you would have to kind of isolate from them until they get better.
It's very scary. This is very scary, but I think that giving our viewers the opportunity to hear some alternatives to what we used to do, I think they'll be okay because they're resilient and strong. What do you think?
I think so too. I've seen some people, instead of shaking hands or hugging, touch their foot or their elbow, or you can do the high five without touching.
Like in the air? Yep, we can do that. We can do that. Throw 10. We call it throw 10. I just made that up.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So Nurse White, let me just say, you know, we had the fortunate pleasure of having Nurse Davis, but I just want to also echo my sentiments to you for being on the front line as nurses, just always looking out for us, for the community, and putting us first. Oftentimes the work that you do, you're so engaged and wrapped in the work that sometimes you forget to do you. So I want you to take the opportunity to hug yourself and pretend it's me. It's a virtual hug because I appreciate you for all that you do.
Thank you very much. We love being a nurse. We love interacting with the children, and we are so happy to be a part of the family of the Sumter School District.
And I'm so grateful to have you. So we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to read, because we do know reading is fun and it's something that we need to do to keep our minds and our brains constantly working and growing. And I hope that our viewers took something away from the reading that we just shared with them.
Reading is fun.
Absolutely. But you know what else is more fun? Having an opportunity to dance.
Just do your thing, make your own dance show.
Watching Dad. Watching Dad.
Brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle, brand
Thank you, Nurse